Hey team, God has commanded us to be strong and courageous. Now, what does that look like? Is he talking about just the spiritual, just the mental, just the physical? The truth is all of the above. And I know some people are going to have a problem with this. This might be controversial, but that's just what it is. A lot of times, if you speak truth, man, the word says all discipline. So again, this is Hebrews 12. All discipline is sorrowful, but those who are trained by it, it yields a peaceable fruit of righteousness. Whether I'm disciplining myself in the physical, mentally, spiritually, it's all uncomfortable. None of our fleshes enjoy it. But that doesn't mean that, we should come in agreement and with this rebellion and just come against it. It's like when I first got born again, I go to all the pastors, all the men in my church, like, okay, why are you not stewarding your body? Why are you not strengthening yourself? Why aren't you training your body? And a lot of them, honestly, just, physical training profits a little, using scriptures out of context, making excuses for why they weren't stewarding their bodies, why they weren't loving their wives like they love their own bodies, being sensitive and nurturing to their own physical body so they could be sensitive and nurturing to their wives, to the people around them. And so with that being said, I have a different belief system when it comes to the physical and what it looks like to glorify God in our body. And I'm not talking about, again, the world has misused this. I know Christians that take their shirt off and they're having selfies flexing and they think it glorifies God instead of the flesh and promoting lust and all these things. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about being a stumbling block to others. But for instance, right now, my son, he's about to go to school. He's about to go to a private school that I teach at, not in the same building, but it's a little scary. He's been homeschooled his whole life. I love and adore my son desperately, as does my wife. Now, with that being said, there's bullies in school. I don't care if you're a private school, public school, there's bullies. There's children that are going to say horrible things. There's children that are going to get in your face. There's children that are going to look to abuse you and hurt you. Because again, bullying, hear me out, bullying is not a person. Bullying is a spirit. And until you conquer that spirit, you're always going to deal with that. Lord, bless them in Jesus' name. You're always going to deal with that bullying spirit until you conquer it. Well, how do you conquer it? Well, I'm going to tell you how to conquer it, just like I'm going to teach my son how to conquer it. Well, if someone comes to school and it starts bullying you, gets in your face, starts trying to intimidate you, you think I'm going to tell my son to do? Oh, well, just go and tell the teacher. No, that's not it. Even if I was a teacher, I'm going to look at him like, son, you know what you need to do. No, we're going to address that. And if someone hits you, you're going to hit them so much harder. If someone looks to push you down, you're going to push them down. If you don't get it the first time, then you're going to train yourself so you can get it the next time. The fact of the matter is you need to address these bullies physically first, because until you've conquered them physically, then mentally and spiritually, you're always going to be in subjection. That's why so many people deal with bullies their entire life. And it's like, man, what it is about me. I had them in school and now you have them at work. Your bosses are bullies now, and so on and so forth. It's because you never conquered that spirit. You never physically stood up to it and were, as you're commanded, to be strong, courageous, and I'm going to stand against this injustice. If it means I got to fight, whether I win or lose, it doesn't matter. You're going to know every time I'm going to fight against this thing. Every time I'm going to stand up against this thing, because if not, then again, every time. When you can say, well, brother, Jesus said turn the other cheek. I found this out a couple weeks ago, actually, when I was doing a study, and he's not talking about fighting, team. And I know some of you, what? He's really not. When he's talking about turning their cheek, a slap in that time is just the most disrespectful thing you can do. It's literally like coming against your pride, like it's degrading you. It has nothing to do with like physically fighting. Jesus didn't give that instruction. So I'm not telling you, hey, what would you say to me? No, I'm trying to be a peacemaker. I'm diligently seeking peace. Jesus is a lion and a lamb. For some of us, the lamb's a lot harder to attain than the lion, because the lion's ready to go inside. But no, God's the steward of all these things in me. But as a child, right now, team, if there's a gunfight, if there's things going on, how many people that know me close that can tell you, that you comment down below if you want to, that you've seen me break up a fight in the midst of people ready to brawl, the people, whatever. I get excited, and because I want to be a peacemaker, and I run up to those things. And I've had tough conversations, and the scary people in the gym with all the tattoos, whatever. I'm the one that's going up there and speaking God's love and identity to them. Why? Because I've conquered that bully spirit. As a kid, I did martial arts. I fought. I got to knock out the bullies. I got to be strong and courageous. I got to train my body, so just in case something happens, you know what? I'm going to be prepared. I'm gonna be able to steward my body to now, if someone gets in my face, when I look them in the eyes, they're going to see that there is no fear. Therefore, that bullying spirit's going to be put in subjection. And most of the time, you're never going to have to do anything physical because you've already conquered it. So I'm going to tell my son, that bully, you knock his lights out. You know what? It was, Dad, he's bigger than me. Well, then we're gonna start training son. I'm gonna teach you how to speak against. I'm gonna teach you how to manipulate the situation so that you can put him in subjection. Whether you might not be able to beat him physically, well, you're gonna be able to beat him mentally and be able to make him, question himself, confuse him, whatever it may be. We need to physically address this so we can mentally and so we can spiritually. Because again, unless you're strong, courageous in the physical, that's why we need to train. How can I inspire to? How can I be willing to conquer these bears, these lions, these giants in my life if I've never put my body through that physicalness? I'm probably spitting everywhere because I'm going in right now, but that's okay. It's the truth, team. Unless we're willing to be strong, courageous, I've said it before, how can I really appreciate the cross if I've never been in that situation where I'm lifting, where I'm running, where I'm just so beaten down and tired and exhausted, but it's just like, you know what, God pushed through, I'm gonna push through. We have these limits that we put on ourselves, and until we're willing to break those things down, until we're willing to push past these things, we're limiting God, we're limiting who he is in our life, we're eliminating our revelation and appreciation of who he is and what he bore for us in all aspects, mind, body, and spirit. So with that being said, we're commanded to be strong and courageous. Parents, teach your kids, if someone's bullying you, honey, just go and tell the teacher. I'm sorry, no, because that bully, and a lot of you can attest to this, is going to follow you your whole life, because it's not a person, it is a spirit. Until you address that, like most things that God's created in the kingdom, he gave us a biological design. So many things in life that we have to go through them physically for us to understand mentally and for us to gain spiritually. Again, there's a process. We are a three-part being. God designed us this way, and it's so important for us to teach our children. And again, parents watching, there's of you right now that's again, why is there gossip? Why is there slander? Again, because usually the people that were bullied, now they become gossipers because they're not strong and courageous. So do they speak up against these things? Are they willing to address, hey, you shouldn't speak like that. You know what? This is making me feel a certain way, and I don't appreciate that. So I'd appreciate if you didn't. Or if you're not, well, hey, this is what we're going to do then. I'm going to step away. I'm going to so on and so forth. Like, you're not even willing to stand up for yourself. That's why gossip has just devastated families. Gossip has devastated the church because we're so quick to point a finger. We're so quick to speak behind someone's back instead of speaking the truth in love. Same thing with the world. Oh, sinful, homosexual, this, that. We're pointing out the things, but we're not willing to look eye to eye to them and say, look, I love you. Here's what I'm feeling. Here's what I'm thinking. Let's grow in love. Let's share. Let's communicate. Let's learn of one another. No. Let me point a finger because I'm not willing to get face to face to love you and to honor you and to put my money, put my faith, put my words, put my just anything upon you or share it with you, because we're cowardly. We're not strong and courageous. So address the physical. If you don't train your body, honestly, you're missing out. You can't say, oh, I'm honoring God in my body. No, you're not. If you're not having temperance, if you're not stewarding your health, if you're not pushing away plates, if you're not staying away from sugars, again, sometimes it's okay. But if you're just giving in whenever you want to your flesh, it's your flesh. Oh, well, no, that's my physical flesh. No. If you giving into your physical flesh, I promise that whether it be physical flesh as far as your diet, gluttony, lust, whatever, they all carry over. They're all a part of each other. So it's like this. If my closet's dirty, I can guarantee you then my car's going to be dirty. I can guarantee you my garage is going to be dirty, because these things, it's an infection. It carries over. You feed the flesh, you're feeding it in all aspects. Some might grow stronger than others, but in all aspects. That's why we need to understand this, address this, be strong and courageous, and look at ourselves. Like, how many believers I know, like, you'll hear something, you'll be in the night, maybe there's warfare going, there's something demonic, and you'll turn on the light and you'll start rebuking. Why you turn on the light? Are you willing to say, you know what, I was scared, I feel uncomfortable, I can't see, whatever. No, come what may, I'm going to rebuke this in the dark. I'm going to rebuke this cowardness in my heart until that's gone. I'm not flipping over the light. Hard word, team. I know it's offensive, but hey, all discipline is sorrowful. Let's be able to look ourselves in the mirror, let the Lord search us and try us and see if there be any wicked way, any cowardly way, because a cowardly way is a wicked way. and let it lead us in the everlasting way. So Lord, I just thank you for who you are, Jesus. I thank you for teaching us to be strong and courageous in the physical, mentally, spiritually, in all aspects, Lord, that we would be submitted to you, that we would know what true endurance is, physically, mentally, and spiritually. We would know what it is to prevail in prayer, to prevail in workouts, to prevail in all aspects of our life, Lord, that we would be strong and courageous, that we would be endurance, that we would be able to not box as if we're beating air, Lord, but we would be just designated as your warriors, as your soldiers, as your remnant, as your children, that you would be precise in the way that you allow us to train physically, mentally, spiritually, and that all aspects of our lives will glorify you, Lord. No more excuses. And for those that are off balance, for those that are maybe glorifying the flesh, for those that are having their shirts off and posing in pictures a certain way and thinking like, oh, no big deal, you know, the yoga pants pandemic that has infiltrated the church, and we just think it's okay and no big deal, and oh well, you know, if someone looks or if someone they got a problem. Oh, mercy, God, mercy. Lord, you said, you had Paul say, man, if meat causes my brother to stumble, I will not eat meat. Lord, help us to not be stumbling blocks. Help us to put others first. And if you want to wear yoga pants, and if you want to wear cutoffs, you want to wear all these things that you like, hey, that this is what I like, that you would love others first. And you would think, you know what, maybe someone, you know, there's people dealing with pornography issues. There's people dealing with all these battles. And not that, again, some people can try and take whatever they want out of whack. But Lord, let me do my heart. At least let me have you, Lord. Is God stewarding not only your health, not only your, you know, physically, spiritually, but is he stewarding your diet? Is he stewarding your closet, your clothing? Is God Lord over your closet? And what I mean by that is, are you able to be like, Lord, what do you want me to wear? Or is it, I don't even need to pray like that. I get to wear whatever I want. Team, there's things that we need to start revisiting. And unless we're going to be truly strong, courageous, not only does that tank that strength, that courage, but again, that strength and that courage comes by loving someone else more than yourself, loving more than a situation. You have a desire, you have that passion. You know, that's why there's cases of mothers ripping open car doors to get their children out of the back seat when it's gone into a pond. Yet that same mother, the next day, a week later, whatever, you give them $1 million in a briefcase and say, hey, if you open up this door, we're actually going to have it half as strong as before. If you open up this door, then, you know, you'll get that $1 million and won't even be close. Love is the greatest motivation. Stop filling yourself with cheap gas. Stop filling yourself with, anger and the haters and all this. Again, yeah, it's motivation, but it's the cheap stuff. Just like that mother ripping open that car door, only love will give you that true strength. And so that comes from putting others first, being selfless, so that we can be strong and courageous. In Jesus' name, love you, team.